Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Triangle Podcast. I'm excited about this episode because we have a genius of an artist, Israel Rodriguez, on the show today. And why I'm excited about that is number one, he's from Houston, got to rep the H. But two is he's an incredible artist, and how we got connected was pretty cool. And that's what I love the world we live in, because we're so connected, and we can do so much through this little phone here, and through that we built a bond. And I said, hey man, I'd love to have you on the podcast because I loved his art. I loved what he stood for, which was a simple message of just go out there and do what you feel called to do. Like, go out there, put the content out, go out there, create that art, create that song. And I really wanted to talk to him on how did he get started? Where did this passion come from? And then also, what was it like pushing out that dream? You know, he got started in art, but it's like, how do you get that out into the marketplace? Because I don't know about you, but I don't have I didn't come from a lot of money, or I didn't have backing and capital to start a business, right? I bootstrapped it all. And the thing is, you're probably in that same position, right? Where we have to be more strategic on how we get our name and brand out there. So that's something I was really excited to talk to Izzy about. And it's so much more simpler than you would even imagine. So with that said, I'm excited about this episode. I'm super appreciative that he jumped on. And disclaimer, he's extremely passionate. He may have some language that you may or may not like, but regardless, his message is great. And again, I'm excited for you to check this out. So with that said, let's roll.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Triangle Podcast. I'm stoked for today because we're talking marketing, we're talking art, we're talking street with Israel. Izzy
works, yeah.
But what's super cool is I picked up one of his pieces out here in Edo, and I was like, this is sick. I remember I wanted to get that.
I just realized you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we started.
That's how we connected.
Which one was it, the Loading Heart one?
With the city. And
oh, no. Okay, so that's a different one. It's Heart of Houston.
Heart of Houston. Cool. I saw that, and I was like,
where'd you get that, by the way?
So I picked up, so you know how we were just talking about the space where you can do all these small offices, yeah. And
okay,
it's right here on
the
Iron Yard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got you.
So I saw your piece there, and then we connected on IG, and then here we are.
Good shit.
So it's sweet, but yeah. I guess going into that piece immediately, I saw that, and I saw the Biggie Smalls one you did with the Strohs. I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
And then just started stumbling onto what you're doing, and dude, I love it. So I'm really curious to hear from you. Obviously, you're a Houston native. But what got you into art? Is it a way of expressing? Obviously, it's a way of expressing yourself, but like, where was the passion?
I mean, I've only been painting for about 8 years, and I found out that I could paint when I went to the Art Institute. I went there for graphic design. I didn't finish. I think it was and I also used to draw a lot when I was younger, right?
Right.
So that was like kind of like around elementary and stuff like that. Junior high, just kind of lost focus with it. I was kind of like into sports a little bit. High school was just like party, and then like you graduate and then you have to. What are you gonna do with your life?
Yep.
I tried. Man, so many like things that I didn't know whether to chase the money. I didn't know whether to be realistic. You know, I was like, man, like, I knew for some reason I was like, okay, let me try like maybe like architecture. My dad does what is it called? Like
design.
Remodeling.
Oh yeah.
For homes and stuff like that.
Rehab.
What is it? I think it starts with a C. I can't think of the name. Anyways, or he's a general contractor.
Oh yeah.
There
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he does kind of like everything when it comes to like he like build a house from the ground up.
Right.
And I remember him like with like blueprints basically. He would just go in there and just like sketch stuff out.
That's cool.
And then he'd go to a job because I used to help him a lot, you know, and he would go in there and just like build it. And I'm like, that's dope, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I got it from a little bit.
Something from the mind, then seeing it.
Yeah. So I was like, and it was intriguing to me. So I was like, let me see if that's gonna like be what I want to do. That's what I want to do, right? So I went, bro. It's like basics, and I didn't even make it to like architectural classes. Everything that I did was just like me trying, but nothing was sticking, man. Like school just wasn't for me.
Same.
It wasn't for me, man. It's just like, and every time, and my mom just like, she just always, I feel bad because she was always like, can you just like finish something, you know? And it's like, I get it, you know, because it's like, you know, they want to see you do well and succeed and stuff. But I just didn't know, man. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't even know I could paint then, you know?
Wow.
So I didn't know until I went to the Art Institute, and then they had us do like this color, like project deal. I don't know, or no, it was a stop motion project, and we could do anything we wanted to.
Oh, sweet.
And I had a canvas that my friend had given me, and I was like, you know what? Let me just try to paint something.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and well, so again, like I'm self-taught, so I didn't know how to blend, or I didn't even use brushes the first time. So what I did was there's this artist that I like look up to. He's the reason that I started painting. His name is Peter Tarrant.
Cool.
That's
the guy you're telling me, right?
Or yeah.
Mex out there. And,
that's him. Yeah. So he, at that time, his style of painting, he still does it, and that's kind of why my style's that way too. There was this piece that it looked like it was stippled, so it's just a bunch of dots, right? And so what you do is when you pull back, it creates an image.
Right.
But when you're up close, it's just a lot of colors like overlapping each other.
Wow.
And so I actually used Katie Holmes' face as a muse.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I sketched her out. And I didn't know how he did it, but he made these perfect circles. And I was like trying to think, and I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I was like, let me just try with cotton balls. So I was just sitting there with a bunch of cotton balls and just created a face and her face. And then, you know, I finished it. I went to school. I showed it to them. They were like, yo, that's dope. Yeah, and I was like, thanks. And I was like, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
And then we had another class where we were introduced to color too. So I ended up painting the weekend. And again, I didn't know how to use like brush strokes or anything. Like I didn't know how to do that. So I did the same thing, but on a smaller scale. And I did Q-tips. So I just did a bunch of dots. Created the weekend. It was this dope picture of him smoking a cigarette. And then took it to class, and the teacher was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know? And I was like, yeah. I was like, honestly, that one, I was like, yo, I didn't expect it to come out this way. I was like, this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, ever since then, I went out and I bought supplies, and I just started just like messing with it, you know?
Right.
And then there were certain things that would like inspire me and stuff like that, and I just, ever since then, bro, like, that school, you know,
sparked something.
Student loans out the ass, but that's also why I stopped, because I was going for graphic design, and I realized like once I started painting, then I started doing a little bit more research. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna make that much money, and it's never really been about the money, but I'm also gonna be smart about it. I'm not gonna go into crazy debt to make, you know, like not that much money and then have to just pay all that shit off. And at the same time, I'm not gonna be as creative as I can, because a lot of the companies that when you work for graphic design, it's usually like
you're in a box.
Yeah, it's very structured unless you do like your own thing. You know, but then doing that at that time I had no idea about it, you know, and it's like it was something I was gonna have to learn, right, a technique. But if I was gonna learn anything, I'm gonna just learn painting, you know. So that's why I just went that route, and I just quit, and I was at a 9-to-5 job, and I just. You know,
it's so crazy, because I was just talking to Trevor about this earlier today, and just saying how that's kind of how my journey was with school. I went there. I was going for audio engineering. I wanted to produce, make music, and still a passion of mine. I love music, but I started to realize, okay, these guys are going to the school, getting in all this debt, and then the people who graduate are still asking my friends who are at the studio with no experience from college the questions that he's like, bro, you should know this. And then I started seeing that, and then I got into, you know, online business, and I was like, okay, I'm out. I don't see this, and because I was in a ton of debt too. I didn't have. I got loans from the government. You know, it's like I didn't have a fund from my family, and I'm sure, you know, that's a lot of people, right? So it's the same thing. Finding a passion and then running with it, and then making it work with the job, and just following it. That's sweet. So you got started with the whole art thing. Were you YouTubing like how to brush stroke, or you just picked it up?
Man, honestly, to this day, I think, you know, there's something about me. So one of my favorite things to do is to like see other people's art, and like my favorite thing to do is go to like museums and like almost like dissect a painting. So I try to figure out how they did this.
Wow.
Just until recently, I started watching YouTube videos, and
That's
even
awesome.
even then, it's hard for me to get through it because it's boring to me. I'm not gonna lie,
Really?
it's just boring, dude.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sweet.
boring to me, and so it's that's all. I guess that translates to school. It was boring, so it's like.
Yeah.
If I don't want to do
That's
it,
just
I'm
not
not
how
going
you
to.
learn. That's not for
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
That's not how you
so
learn.
I think I'm more hands-on.
Yeah.
And I've never done a workshop. I've wanted to. I've talked to a couple of artists who
Wow.
go out of town to do those things.
That'd be sweet.
And don't get me wrong, man. Like growth is important, right? But sometimes experimenting yourself and learning from your mistakes is the best way to learn.
For sure.
And so I do that constantly, man. Like with the portraits that I do, like. I don't know if people think they're easy because I've heard people who like talk shit. They're like, because I'm just there's sometimes that I blend, but there's most of the times just like overlaying colors. To someone, I mean, if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, feel free. It's not easy though.
Really?
It's not easy because what I think what people think is easy because they would probably look at my painting, go in there and just choose the colors that I've already chosen and then recreate that. But how about I give you 1,000 colors and then
Make it your own.
Make it your own.
Right?
See, because the colors matter.
Mm-hmm.
That I use teals and violets and dark purples on purpose in certain areas to create depth.
Huh.
And if you add that to the wrong spot, it's either gonna go flat or it's just not gonna look right. You know what I mean? Colors are gonna clash. That's another thing. Color theory. You have to understand that colors matter when they're next to each other, overlaying each other.
Yeah.
If you use the wrong colors, it's gonna look messy and just weird, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot to take into consideration, and I found out by just doing it, and getting annoyed as shit. Man, like no one ever sees like, they always see
The success.
the end result, but they don't realize. That's why, like on my personal Instagram, I try to be transparent a lot. I was just talking to yesterday about the other podcast that I had,
Right.
and one of my biggest things is like just be yourself, dude. Like be yourself. There's so many people who are scared to like hurt, I guess, other people. Not purposely, right? Because if you're a shit person, you shouldn't be a shit person. But if you're a good person and you have like good intentions and you mean well, but you also are your own person, so like Black Lives Matter. If you're offended by that, unfollow me. Do you know what I'm saying? No one's forcing you to follow me.
Yeah.
So like, that's really what it is,
No,
right?
that reminds me, because remember I said you did a reel that I was just like, I loved, and I couldn't find which one it was, but it was that, dude. That hit me hard when you said, if there's somebody out there
Oh, yeah.
that is going to
He
love.
edited that for me, yeah, because I
Bro.
woke up and I was pissed, bro. I was pissed because Keep going, I'm sorry.
No, explain it. Like, explain that concept to people, because it hit me, and I was like, bro, that's what I needed to hear today.
Because that's the thing, man. You're okay. So, for example, let's say I just finished the George Floyd mural, right?
Yeah.
Bro, the comments on that shit, because ABC 13 was there, Channel 11.
Wow. Sure.
ABC 13 shared it on their Facebook, and I was tagged on that. And so first thing I did was go see the comments. Man, the ignorance is crazy. It's so like upsetting that like people are like that, you know? When it comes down to just like very basic shit, when it's like, just don't be racist. That man did not deserve to die. It doesn't matter what the fuck he did in the past. If we're talking like actual like, you know what I mean? Like compassion and humanity, like he didn't deserve to die. It's not, that cop did not, he shouldn't have chosen whether it was, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy to me that
like
we have
to take the politics out of it, take the left and right. It's just like the dude died, and that's
take away his
cool.
fucking uniform, and it's just that guy doing that thing. Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy how you have to sit there and explain this shit to people. You know what I'm saying? That's what trips me out. I'm just like,
So you were fired up. You woke up fired up.
Yeah. Well, so that doesn't have to do with the video that I posted, but let's say I didn't stand for any of that. Let's say I didn't post any of that. I just kept it very straight line, and I just did this art for this person, this art for this person, but I didn't speak up about the shit that I actually believe in, right? Let's say I didn't do any of that. I painted a picture. It's actually my girlfriend, right? I'm doing a series of her.
Sweet.
And so it's provocative, not nudity, but provocative, right? And it's like a bunch of abstract colors, or like abstract, like.
Yeah, have you been posting it on your feed? Yeah. That looks awesome.
Thank
bro.
you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but so I posted that. The picture went viral, I would say. Mm-hmm. So you get a lot of randoms who either like it, share it, comment.
Right.
I got this guy who was saying something about my easel and the setup, right? So I do it. This is a part where we should probably talk about as far as like business aspect, right?
Yeah.
People create photos or paintings, like nice paintings, but they leave it at that. They post it and they expect to they expect for that to do all the work for them. It's more than that, man. The business part is reaching out to people, sharing it, hashtags, location,
right.
Everything that goes behind it.
Right.
But anyways, real quick, back to that.
Yeah, because I want to dive into that for sure.
Yeah, he was saying something about my easel, how it wasn't dirty and my shoes were too clean. And I'm thinking like, damn, dude, like you can't do anything, you can't please everyone, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what you do. You're going to trigger somebody in some way.
Yep.
So if I'm going to trigger anybody in the right way or the wrong way, that however you feel, that however you take it is that's on you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it for what I believe in.
And you can have the best intentions in the world. There's still going to be somebody out there that's going to judge.
Absolutely.
And that's something that's crazy. That I think that's why that video hit me so much, because I thought the same thing. I was like, man, I've been thinking of this. As a marketer, I'm learning from this guy named Steve Larson. He's really big into digital marketing, right? And that's one thing he says is like, he stands for capitalism. He doesn't stand for left or right. He just says, I stand for capitalism.
Yeah.
And he says that won't create war, but it's going to create a lot of noise. And the reason why I bring all that up is you're going to create noise in the marketplace, whatever you're doing, if you're standing for something.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of the Kendrick Lamar and like Section 80 when he says stand for something or die in the morning. Dude, that's stayed with me since, because if you do stand, you're going to see the other side. You're on one side, someone's always going to be on the other side.
Yeah.
Like this guy thinks you should have dirty clothes, dirty shoes, and a dirty easel,
Yeah,
right?
he said I wasn't an artist, a real artist.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. When actually, for me, from my eye, I'm like, dude, I love his setup. It's like, you see the city, you got it right by the window. I'm like, that's inspiring. I'm like, I can see why he has that set up the way it is. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I see it a different way.
Yeah.
Right. But that actually brings me into how you got started. So you're getting into the art, but with this digital world and social, and especially like us being more independent, like you didn't start off with like crazy amounts of advertising and marketing dollars, like putting your name out everywhere. So like, dude, we're all just getting started in our own deal, right? How did that start for you? Like whenever I'm sure you did projects and you kept it to yourself or shared it around with some friends and there was like word of mouth, right? But like whenever you took a stand and said, all right, I'm going to be really public about this, what did that look like?
Yeah, with like my art and stuff?
Yeah.
I think so when it's going slow, it's going slow. Once you hit that, like, the best way I could describe it is, remember like, what is it, like Mario Kart or some shit like that, where you hit that little thing where it boosts you?
Yeah.
And you speed up?
Yeah.
That's
little
basically,
mushroom or whatever?
Yeah, that's basically exactly how it is, man. Like, it's almost like everyone's waiting to, like, get to the top or whatever. And first of all, you're never going to reach it. There's like forever. That's the cool shit about this.
Yeah.
But once you build the right momentum and you get like, it's almost like an algorithm within yourself. That's whenever you're going to actually, what to do to keep going up. You know what I mean? And it's really about just like, I mean, I remember I was stuck at like 2,000, 3,000 followers or something like that. One of my, and that was around the time whenever I had my 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would create paintings probably like 4 or 5 months. It would take me to finish a painting.
Wow.
But I would always like sketch at work, and I decided to start posting those.
Showing the process.
Yeah, use hashtags, man. I remember when I first started posting my art on Instagram, I felt a little weird with hashtags because I kind of felt like a sellout. Because I didn't really understand them too well, and I felt like it was almost like buying followers. And then, I can't lie, I haven't always not cared what people thought. I used to care a little bit. It was never like, I was always myself, but I still cared a little bit, right?
Right. I feel like that's always there.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I still care a little bit,
Right,
but I cared more back then. At this point, I don't give a shit really, man. Like, and anyone who's close to me can tell you that, it's, so that being said, I'm going to just add the hashtags, even to this day, even ones that don't apply to what I'm painting. That's the business part about it. You have to realize that, first of all, back to like me and my girlfriend's story, Black Lives Matter.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that did have to do with the picture, right?
Right.
But she wasn't scrolling on that hashtag to find a boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You scroll through apartment complexes, the hashtag, and you see a dope ass piece of art. You see something that interests you, right? A cool car, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
You're gonna click it.
Yep.
When you click it, 9 times out of 10, if you like it, you're gonna go see the rest of the shit that's on that profile.
Yeah.
So you go, let me give this dude a follow. His art is dope.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be, and that's the thing. So there's people who will talk, and people have said shit to me about using hashtags that don't have. Oh, that guy actually, that guy that said about
the
the
easel guy.
Yeah, he said that I'm stealing from people that use those that because they don't apply to my art. That I'm stealing from them. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
I've actually never heard this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I've had people reach out. It's here and there, but they'll reach out and tell me that how, like, especially if they're from like a different country, like Thailand or some shit, and they order a print. I'm like, just curious, how'd you find me? Someone found me through, and this is just Google that I searched maybe like 3-4 years ago. That I was like hashtag or viral hashtags or some shit like that. Copied those in my notes, and I've been using the same ones ever since.
Huh.
And one of them is pomegranates. Someone bought a print, found me through the hashtag pomegranates.
What?
Yeah. And it was in a different country. It wasn't Thailand, because I was just recently, but yeah.
I was going to say, I saw one of your posts when I think you're sharing maybe your first one. It was to France, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that's crazy, because that's the power of social.
Yeah, did you see that on the highlights?
No, maybe.
Or, okay.
It looked like you're
Standing?
literally, standing about.
Okay, yeah, that's. Yeah.
It looked like Europe. I think it may be something like that, but.
Yeah, so there has been a lot lately to just different areas, and it's sometimes I don't know what it's from. Sometimes I do. I recently had 2 videos go viral on TikTok. That the first one, doing a body positivity series, and one of the videos went viral, and the print orders from that was wild. I got like South Africa, Thailand, Ireland.
Wow.
Just insane, man.
Make sure the camera doesn't go off at 30 minutes. It'll cut. So.
Yeah, but it was so. That being said, it was just. The best way I can put it, man, is to like see growth is just you just gotta work, man. You just have to work. What I realized is that, especially back then when I say 9 to 5, but it was like a 7 to like 5:30. Tired as hell, dude. Everyone's tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I do this shit for full time now. I'm still tired. Because now it's a lot of extra shit. But if you want to do that thing, you have to bust your ass.
That's what I was
there's
saying.
no easy way around it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's when people will quit, right?
Yeah.
So like, what was that drive for you whenever you got off a long days of work and you're like, I'm still gonna go make this piece.
Well, the fact that I enjoy it, genuinely.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
I think that's the start, right?
And B, I also enjoy people's reactions to my pieces, right? So that's what's cool to me, because especially whenever back then, I was a little bit insecure and self-conscious of my work. There was times when I would just be like, man, I don't know if this is as dope as I think it is.
Right.
Let's see. And that's what's cool about social media. And that's what I hope people don't. Likes aren't everything. It's like they are, but they aren't. Right? Like, you can have 1 million followers and no one can buy your shit. Right? So it's all about who follows you. That's important, but it's also support. So let that shit, don't let it like bring you down if you get less likes on this than on something, because you also got to realize there's algorithms, right?
Right.
So you could post something at a certain time, people might have not just seen it.
Exactly.
They may have just not seen it.
For sure.
That doesn't mean that it's not a badass piece. It just means that, it could be it's not as badass as the rest. It could be that, but it also could be that you posted at the wrong time. Don't let that shit stop you.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
And this is one thing that I love to say about Houston, because it's fucking massive.
Yep.
Is what is it, like 6.7
almost 7 million, yeah.
million people, right?
Yeah.
I have 13,000 followers.
Right.
Bro, I don't know shit about numbers. I suck at math, but I do know the percentage of that, the amount of people that have probably seen my art, is very fucking low.
Yeah.
Very low. On top of that, the people that own them, very low as well. Dude, if I wanted to just market myself in Houston, I'd be set for life.
For sure.
If I did it the right way, I'd be more than that. I could, my kids could have, if I did it correctly, right? Bro, there's a whole entire world out there.
Yes, so that brings me back to the point of that one video that you shared.
Yeah.
So you were saying how, somebody is out there, someone out there is going to appreciate your art. Whatever you do.
They just haven't seen it.
Exactly. And I saw that and I was like, man, that gave me inspiration to start my own deal. Like, so I've been wanting to start a, online brand, like fashion brand for so long. And I was going to do it regardless. But whenever I heard that, I said, you know what? Yeah. Because it starts making you think about the person you can impact because of your courage.
Yeah.
And just some of the people, like, they see the art, like, I walk into my spot. I don't have it on the wall yet, but it's right there.
Yeah.
I know where I want it, and I see, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
And that can be anything, you know what I mean? It could be you at your job. It could be you creating your own art or creating your own business, whatever that is, but that mindset. And
I think people, so the number one thing that you're already doing it incorrectly is if you're doing it for the money. That's the wrong way to go about it. If you're at a job that you hate, and like, so for example, whenever I was at my 9 to 5, I would sit there around like 12, 1, 2 p.m. and I would have like 4 hours left, 5 hours left till I could go home. And the only thing I could think about is painting.
Sweet.
Bro, you know how shitty that is?
Oh, yeah.
To sit there and just
want to escape.
Yeah, and you can't. Luckily, I wasn't stuck there. I was driving a fucking 2010 Honda Civic. I had 2 roommates. And this is at me being like 29, 30. You know what I'm saying?
So you got all the thoughts in your head.
Yeah. And especially now with Instagram, man, you come across all these memes and all this dumb shit where it's like, he's 30, he shouldn't have any roommates. Oh, he drives a Civic? Nah, not for me, blah, 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 this and that. And it's usually, like men, it's not all about impressing a woman, but at the same time, that's how women feel about you, it depends on who you are as a man. Right. I didn't give a fuck. I don't give a shit, man. That stuff doesn't make who I am. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so
that'll attract somebody that you don't even want.
Exactly. See, so I don't want to attract someone who wants all the nice things if that's all they care about, right? We want nice things, but shit, man, like, again, people always just see the end result and they don't know what the hell you went through. But you know, if you're doing it for the money, you're not gonna get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna be satisfied.
Yeah, and that brings up something that I've been walking through recently, and it's the fact that it's fun. If you like what you're doing, dude, it is fun. And like this, even though this is it's a passion project for me. Like starting this brand, it's a passion project, and I've had almost more fun doing anything, and it's nuts. And I think it's because of that. I think it's because I'm like, okay, I don't care about anything. I don't care about the money. I don't care about. I just want to go help people. I want to impact. I want to give back, and that fuels everything. So I agree. I totally agree. So you start getting some success. You start getting all these followers. You're shipping projects all around. What I guess now where you are today, obviously you still want to grow. That's what we're here for. Is expansion.
Yeah.
What fuels you to do that? To keep, obviously you're going to always keep going, but like, what is your better question? You started before for one reason. Now, what is your reason to
continue? It's the same shit, man. It's the same shit, man. It's just, it's like, to me, what's cool about it, I really enjoy like the inconsistency of it. You know, it's not, I'm not getting a set check every 2 weeks, every month, whatever the case may be, right?
Yep.
If I don't work,
I don't eat.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's cool about it is, you know, say I have a slow month, what can I do as a creative to go out there and make sales? Let me do a print sale. Let me just fucking throw an art show. I'm having an art show October 16th, by the way.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Where's that at? I'll get the details.
Yeah, it's at Crowbar.
Sweet.
7 to 11. It's going to be me, my boy Emil. He's a photographer / videographer / cinematographer and stuff like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then like 15 other local artists.
Dope.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, man, there's things that we can do to like to make shit happen, man.
Creative.
You can't just sit around. Look, I've always said this. If everything was taken from me completely, right, except for my hands and my eyes. Man, fuck that. I'd still probably make some shit. I'd be honest. I'd still probably make something. But if you took everything from me, and you know, I had a bag on the street or something like that. I know what makes me money. It's my art, right? So the one thing I would do, I'd go shake a cup, man. I don't know, whatever the heck I got to do to get some money, get canvas, get some paint, create. I'd stand on the fucking road and sell it. You know, you got to do whatever you got to do, man. Like people are just, but that's the problem is people are like just scared to like to put themselves out there, and it sucks because you know people deal with things differently, right? So like public speaking is something that I hate doing. You know, so like you know we all have our little fears and stuff like that,
sure.
right? There's like fear of rejection. There's just a lot of things, and I understand it.
Right.
But I need people to also understand that maybe if you don't do it physically, like you don't go to a show or something, bro, you have the internet in your fucking hands. Like, post the fucking thing.
Yep.
Post it.
Yep.
Like this is what I try to get people. It's kind of like it's very like aggravating because it's like I'm on TikTok and I'm like scrolling through this shit and I see people who are in prison on live. They have that shit. They have phones in there now.
What?
And those motherfuckers go viral because because it's shit that we don't see often. B, I don't even know what the hell B is, right? But
it's different.
But they're going viral, right?
Wow.
So you're telling me, like, okay, for example, there was this one video that I saw of this guy who was like banging on the wall, making a beat, singing his song. It got uploaded onto the internet. He was in jail. Got uploaded. I just came across this video. This dude's out. I think he has a record deal now. This is the shit I'm talking about. Like, people are scared to post shit when they don't even know what it can do.
Yeah.
You're telling me, you know, I didn't think I was expecting for my videos to go viral on TikTok, but I didn't know for a fact that it was going to happen. If you don't try, you're not going to fucking ever get anywhere. Yeah,
and for the people who are, because that was me. I mean, I would create content. Again, I'm a videographer, photographer. Like I've captured a lot of content for people, for myself, but I wouldn't post it. as much as I should. And that's because of my own limiting beliefs. It was trusting myself. It was believing in myself. And one thing that I picked up from Gary Vee, actually, is he says, document, don't create. So many people are worried about creating something, making something brand new, and it's just like those fools in prison were just documenting their day.
Yep.
You know, and then they posted, they shared it. They don't care.
Exactly.
What do they care for?
Exactly.
And if you get into the mindset of, I'm just going to start documenting, and that's what I like about stories, is dude, you can just document all you want.
Exactly.
And start sharing like crazy. So what's super cool about that is, just being able to get over the fear of, okay, I got to make something perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you've probably struggled or dealt with that with art. It's like, oh, is this perfect?
Yeah, all the time, man, all the time. And even now, there's times when I feel like, so I think with art, there's different aesthetics you can go about it, right? That just depends on you and like how you want to create your page, I guess. There's so many things, man. I don't know how much you're on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that.
Yeah, not on TikTok, but
there's videos of people mixing paint that go viral. You know, it can literally be anything.
Yeah.
You just don't know, right?
Huh.
So, me personally, I may tap into little things like that. It's not really, you know, it's a lot of content, right? But that's, you know, the more you put out there, the more people are going to see it. That's just inevitable.
So let me ask you this, like for someone who, and this is something I ask myself all the time, like you have to somewhat pick a niche and whatever you're doing to tap into, like whether that be mixing the paint or whatever. So like, what was that marketplace? You're like, okay, here's a sector that nobody does. How did you discover that? Does that make sense?
I think so. But what do I do that no one does? Because everything I do, someone does already.
Well, I guess that's in anything.
Yeah.
Now that I really think
about it. For the most part,
it,
anything and everything that I do
has been made.
Has already been, you know.
You just remix it in a way.
Yeah. So that's actually a good question as far as style for like artists, right? People are constantly trying to find a style. I ended up coming across this style I use.
That's right.
Is because I'm not a fan of blending. My attention span and like my patience is very short.
Yeah.
And so I like to see things come to life fast.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that I do is I just layer colors with palette knives. And then the colors that I choose now are just colors that I experimented with a lot, and I just stuck to those, right? So those are kind of like staples in my pieces.
Right.
But I don't like blending a lot. I like stuff to come to life real fast. And, you know, I took away from a lot of other artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not the first to do this shit.
Yeah, that's actually a famous quote. Like,
yeah, I can't remember who.
Well, yeah, most people are like, some artists create, the best artists steal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's, if you come up, so for example, the guy, I can't remember his name, man. The guy that paints, with like objects. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah. What's his name?
With the emojis.
No. Oh, I've seen that too. See, it really what it comes down to, if you can create a new thing, you're sitting on gold, right? That's dope as shit. But for the most part, just tap into the shit that you feel like you like, you know, and then focus on that, and then grow from that, you know. So there's just like people just. I think it's just everything around them that they focus on, but they don't focus on themselves. They don't focus on like growing themselves. Like, stop trying to be like this person. Stop trying to be like that person. Just fucking get some shit from him and from her and this, and then make it your own. That's why I say, for anyone who thinks they can recreate my paintings, do it. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why you're not going to be where I'm at, because you're not me.
Yeah, exactly.
You might pass me up, shit. You know. But we have two different paths. I'm gonna go this way. You're gonna go that way. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're individuals.
Yeah. So you know, it's the art is not the only thing that I offer. There's other things to me, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, man. It's just like people are just trying too hard to like. I don't know. It's like they focus on a set goal, and then they don't realize everything that comes to like getting there. They're just like, how do I get there now?
Yeah.
You know, how do I get there now?
Yeah.
And I don't even literally, I don't even know what a goal. I don't have really goals. I just want to I just want to do this shit forever.
Keep moving.
I just want to do this shit forever. Like, I don't know.
That's
like,
really cool.
Like a big goal will be honestly just to own a home in Mexico.
Oh wow.
You know, but that has nothing to do with
art
specifically,
yeah,
right?
Like getting it into a certain
because
studio
I could get there by getting a job at
for
doing
sure.
some other shit.
Oh yeah.
I just want to create for the rest of my life and buy a beach. You know,
That's dope, dude.
So it's just like, you know, and it's gonna happen.
Oh, for
I
sure.
I just don't necessarily know when. You know, I'm gonna be smart about it, but at the same time, it's just like I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, man. You know, the more you grow, the more opportunities get thrown your way. But you also, it's not, people don't just come to you, man. You gotta go out there and get, you know, fucking message people, message famous people.
Yeah.
You know, give them free shit.
Yep.
Talk to them if you can, you know. They don't have to have 1 million followers. Maybe they have 30K.
Mm-hmm.
You know, exposure is exposure.
For sure.
You know, give free shit out. I know that you're probably low on funds. It's gonna pay in the long run, man.
Sow those seeds.
Yeah, it's gonna pay in the long run, man. It just you know,
I love
you're
that.
not selling out. If they don't like your shit, they're gonna say no. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what it goes back to the hashtag thing, because I'm not forcing anybody to follow me. You know, they're seeing my stuff after they come across it. They're choosing to follow me.
Yeah, you're gonna attract the people that are supposed to be there.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And that's why another thing with like the George Floyd stuff and all that stuff, man, I created my audience. Like, if you don't fuck with the stuff that I stand for, feel free to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care. I don't do it for the money, so I'm not hurting. I'm not trying to please everybody. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do every single time, and if you don't like it,
sorry. I mean, not even sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's what I said yesterday. I said, you can unfollow me or you can close your eyes or some shit. I don't know. I really don't know, because it's really that easy. So, and people that jump on posts to straight talk shit, it's weird.
Man, that's you.
And don't ever let those people. Sorry to cut you off. Don't ever let those people divert you from shit, man, because you're gonna get that always. You're always gonna get that, man. Bullies have been around forever. Now they just do it over the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They've been around forever. So
and all I was gonna say is, like, that's just a heart issue. That's just their heart. They're dealing with something, sadly, that could be horrible.
Yeah.
And you know, it has nothing to do with you or whomever, you know, this is receiving it. So, dude, I just love what you're doing. I was so excited to connect with you and hear your story. But like, obviously, you got a lot going. So where can people connect with you? You know, for everything you do.
All right. So I spoke about the art show. Let's start with that one real quick. So I have an art show for. I'm assuming a lot of your local, right? Okay. So October 16th, which is a Saturday, from 7 to 11. An art show with me and my buddy. We're throwing it. We're gonna have about 15, 16 other artists showcasing. It's gonna be an introduction to my body positivity series. I'm gonna have like 4 or 5 pieces of those, and then memory card just went out.
Oh man, could you get the rest of it if you don't mind?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it's still recording on audio.
Oh, it's still recording on
Yeah.
audio? Right, cool.
Yeah, that's the core.
Word.
Sorry.
That's all good. All right, you're good.
So
then.
So you have an art show.
Yeah, art show. So then, 7 to 11. It's gonna be about 15, 16 other artists. It's gonna be at Crowbar, which is in the Heights area.
Mm-hmm.
You can just probably post some details.
Yeah, I'll
on
put
that.
in the details.
Okay. Also, so then my Instagram is IR_artwork, and you know, I have all my pieces on there. Obviously, I have a little link tree, but a lot of people don't know how to use that.
Really?
Yeah, I constantly tell people, click the link in the bio, and then you know the link tree,
yeah,
right? So it drops down.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People, hey, how do I get to your website? I'm like, all right. So I just send it to them directly. That being said, if you don't know about Linktree, my website is www.irartwork.com. And yeah, so this podcast and then the podcast that I was in yesterday is whenever you guys get it out, it'll be in the Linktree, you know?
Cool.
So I have one that I did, my first one, and then, you know, I have, Houston Chronicle information that I did with them and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So,
sick.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all my stuff basically. You can find all my work. If you have any questions, commissions, I'm open. I'm actually waiting to hear back from an airport gig.
What?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, hobby.
Wow.
Man, yes, we're supposed to be hearing about that like any day now. So trying
Bro,
to manifest
that's
that.
huge.
Yeah, man, that's
huge.
mine. I'm already claiming that. That's
yeah,
mine. So
I see it. I already see it.
So if that happens, I'll be booked out for about 2 months. But maybe in between, if you guys have any commissions, I'm always down. I'm working on a Kanye piece right now.
I saw that.
Yeah,
bro.
that one. Hey, I sent him a little update.
Yes,
It's fire.
that
Yeah,
looks
so
sick.
portraits are always super fun to me. So anyone wants a portrait, I am down. I want to paint. Man, there's so many people that I want to paint. If who do you look up to? Let me ask you a question.
Dude, you've already.
If a portrait, let's say a portrait, who would you want?
So, I mean, you did Jordan, which was sick.
I did.
And I would say that one was cool. You're doing Kanye. That's another big one. Man, that's a good question. I feel like you hit like two of my big ones.
Yeah.
You want to know something? So I'm actually hoping to get this piece done by an awesome artist out in Nigeria
Nice.
that a buddy of mine lived with back in the day. KC, if he's probably watching this. And KC's. Oh, so anyway, I was telling my sister about this guy. I started the clothing brand All God, and I wanted to be like very high end couture, but like with street art, like real artists. And it's a way to promote people. Like it's a way to give back completely.
Yeah.
And I saw him, and I just saw some of his images, and I can even think. I want to hear your thoughts. But I'm telling my sister, we're here at Toot Suite, and she's just like, what about like, nothing was the same, the side portrait? She's like, what if you did that portrait, but it was Jesus with the thorns over his head?
That'd be fire.
I'm like,
That'd be fire.
wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I got chills just thinking of it.
Yeah.
So that's who I look up to the most, right?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's who I would say.
That'd be dope, man.
Yeah.
You know what? The only reason I feel like that wouldn't work. So you're gonna get that done by somebody?
I don't have it. It's up. It's up.
See, man. I will. Well, so I will say, man. I will say. No, that'd be dope. I was gonna say sometimes with the style that I do, I'm gonna start tapping into. Obviously I use a lot of colors and stuff like that. I'm gonna start tapping into, like I said, the studio that I'm gonna get soon. It's gonna give me a lot of room to experiment. I'm gonna start tapping into sculptures.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna start tapping into abstract pieces. You're gonna see a big change in my work.
Yeah.
Growth is what I want to call it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Growth. It's gonna be a lot of different new things. Yeah, man. But I'm envisioning it, and that'd be dope in my style too.
I think so too. I didn't think of it until right now.
Yeah. That'd be really fire. Might be something I have to do, man.
Dude, let's roll.
Yeah.
And then what I want to do is then get that on, like, obviously you could do prints and stuff, but like I want to rock it. Like I want to have that on clothes.
That'd be dope, man.
So
for sure,
dude, it's all yours.
Yeah.
So anyway, to wrap this up, I want to ask you a question, which is really like, what would you tell yourself when you just got started? If you could tell yourself right when you just got started anything, what would it be?
Like if
you're talking to yourself, you right here is talking to yourself. You're sitting down with him.
I would say to stay patient. That I know you're tired, because honestly, I was tired, man. I was tired. I was so tired. There was just, the days were so long, and the fact that I had to wake up so early to go to my job meant, and I knew I had to sleep, because that's just humans, right? You have to recharge.
Right.
Stay focused. It's hard. It's honestly hard for me to say, man, because everything that has happened, I feel like it's happened organically. Everything that's happened. The fact that I didn't overly push myself at that time means that I didn't burn out. Mm-hmm. I went to hair school for a little bit. I almost moved to Chicago. There's so many things that happened to set me up to where I am at this moment. And the amount of work that I have now, the knowledge that I have, the patience that I have, the just everything is like perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all so perfect. It's if I was handed this 4 years ago,
For sure.
I would have dropped the ball.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but you know,
Patience. I like that.
the main thing is patience, man. Patience, and I've always, I remember, I don't remember when I said this, but I do remember it just sticks out to me, and I want to say, I know I wasn't full time yet, but it sticks out to me because I remember saying, if I never sell a painting again, I'm fine with that, you know, because I'll just have a bunch of dope ass art in my house.
Yep.
And, you know, after that, I want to say maybe like a year later is whenever my stuff started taking off. And, yeah, man, just stay patient. Just keep creating, dude. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, I've always been optimistic. I've never done it for the money. I just didn't know how to get into it full time.
Right.
So I just knew that I was always going to do it. I just didn't know... if how to go about it full time. But yeah, man, just for just anyone who's just trying to become a full-time artist or just do anything in general, right? I think it's just you got to be patient, but you got to work, man. Like it sucks because that's the main thing. I know you're tired. You know, I know you're tired. I don't have kids, and I can't even imagine like people who have children. And, you know, who have just a bunch of extra shit going on. You gotta find, like, at least an hour or something to do something, to advance. You probably don't see it. Like, you don't, I know it's, when you, like, the goal at that, when you're at that point, the goal is to do that thing, like, as a full-time job. I know that seems so far, but it's getting further if you don't fucking work, man.
That's good.
You have to just put in, it's like it's baby steps. It's baby steps. And then those become just
giant leaps.
Yeah, strides, man. There's little things you don't realize who's watching your shit, who's paying attention, who's actually interested. Just work. Just work your ass off and just keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, don't expect for shit to happen overnight, because it never does. But everything that you're doing is you're taking the right steps in order to get to where you need to be. You know, you're eventually going to get there. It could take 5 years. It could take 10.
Yeah.
But if you don't start, it's never going to fucking happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you're like delaying it, it's going to take 20 years now, or it's going to take 15. You never know. That's the thing. We don't know. But what we do know is that if we work, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, sow those seeds.
You know? So, you know, just it's the recipe is really fucking simple. It's just about working. It's about working and just, you know, putting yourself out there, marketing the best way that you possibly can, and, you know, just staying optimistic, man. Just understanding, just having patience, understanding that it's gonna take a while. It could be a year. You just don't even know.
Yeah, like whenever you just said that, when you said a year later it took off, and in my mind I'm like, some people are hearing that and they're thinking that's too long.
Yeah.
When to some it's like, dude, he only did it for a year.
Yeah.
You know.
But the thing is I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's very true.
I didn't know that. I was just doing what I was. Well, if you don't, first of all, if you're not doing it already, even with no money coming in or anything like that, then you don't really love that shit. Because you should just be doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you truly love it, it's like anything else that you love. If you like going to the gym, you do it. Yeah, there's health and stuff like that. I like going to the gym, so I just do it, you know? Just like you like watching TV, you just fucking do it. Like, just, okay, if you love to do this shit, just do it. It's really simple, right? Why are you like doing this and expecting to get rewarded right away? Like, right. I thought you loved to do it. It should be an outlet or something, right? So,
that's good.
You know, what's cool about that is that's what it comes down to. It comes down to you actually doing something that you love, so it shouldn't feel like work, and then eventually you'll be getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like, I think people just overthink sometimes, you know,
for sure.
which is understandable, but it's really simple, man. It's do what you love to do already, even if you're not getting paid, and just be patient, and eventually you'll be getting paid for it.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Well, man, Izzy, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for this. This was sweet. Love being able to not only hear your story, but this is, I hope, is going to inspire people to just do it. I mean, because that message again that I saw, and I'll even put maybe the link or something towards that reel.
Yeah.
I was like, people need to hear that message more than ever.
Yeah.
More than ever. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Boom.
How about that? Isn't it great to hear from someone so passionate about what he does, and someone who just loves his craft? I really enjoyed this, just sitting down with Izzy. I mean, we had a blast. It was super fun, man. I mean, dude, it was a blast, and we were even talking more about it afterwards, and just how it is that simple, guys. Just do it. And I know you've heard it time and time again, and it's easy to say, it's hard to do, but something that I want to share, and again, I did share it, while we're sitting down, but if you have a passion for something, if you're feeling called to it, just get started. Like he shared in his video online, somebody out there wants what you have. Somebody out there can be hugely impacted by what you are giving to the world. So I really wanted to really push that message again, but I appreciate you for checking this out. I appreciate you for tuning into this episode. And if you don't know, this was put together, and you'll see it obviously online, but really from a company called All God. And if you don't know, this is a passion project that I'm super excited about, where fashion meets faith. And the reason why I'm excited about this is because I like fashion, I like clothes, I like looking nice, and I'm sure you do too. And I wanted to be able to rock clothes that I was confident in, right? Obviously, but also that had a great message with it. I wanted to be able to stand firm in my faith, stand firm in my beliefs, very similar to like what Izzy was saying. And something like I shared too, if you stand for something, man, that's immediately solidifies you in your own confidence in yourself. But also, if you stand for nothing, like Kendrick Lamar said in Section 80, you'll die in the morning. And basically the fact that if you stand for nothing, then what are you out here for? Like, what makes you different, right? And it kind of ties into something that I've shared on my Instagram about, I don't want to be a generalist. Like, I don't want to be someone that is just a walking generality. I want to be a meaningful specific. And that's from Zig Ziglar. And All God, that's what that means to me. It's an amazing brand I'm, again, super excited about. And the fact that 10% of all sales go to the actual cause of your choosing. And that's just the beginning of what this brand's going to be all about and giving back. But I'm really excited about it. So if you haven't, check it out. Go on Instagram, and it's allgod.co, C-O, or go to allgod.co and check out what's going on there. So anyway, I appreciate you for tuning into this episode. I'll see you next week. And if this is something you love, share with your friends, tag it online. And hey, I'll see you at the next one. Bye.